How are we all? How are we all doing out there? Are we all okay? I'm here I don't know what's happened here. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Tuesdays are my request evening. Thursdays are my stories that I like to bring to you. I knew I couldn't hear properly. I've got my earpiece in. I threw myself off there. If you'd like to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. Like I say, I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. What I like to do is have a quick chat with the guys in the live. Then I begin the story once I've started. I don't interrupt it and chop and change in case you're worried about that. But then at the end of the story, I'll have a quick chat with the guys in the live again. Then that's the format I run. So you don't have to worry about me starting the story and then stopping and chopping and changing. So I'm just going to have a quick chat with the guys in the live and then we'll start. Hey, Hayley. Hey, sis. How we doing? How are we? Did we have a good weekend? I've got to get the fan back out again. Oh, my goodness. And look, I'm back in my summer clothes. Well, summer top. I might have to put my shorts on next time. Hey, Warwick. How are you doing? Is the sound okay? Is everything okay? Tell me if it's not. Tell me if it's not. But, how are we all? Did we have a good weekend, everyone? Hey, Mum. How you doing? How are you? Hi, Phil. How are you? Are we all okay? Oh, that's good. Just checking. And are we all ready for my live tomorrow with Sharon? Are we all good to go? Have you all subscribed to her so you can join us in our live? How you doing, Mum? You okay? How are you? I don't know why I'm shouting. I'm very loud tonight. That I've noticed. Is Mick in the frame? Mick's in the frame. As long as Mick's got an appearance as well, I'm happy. Hey, Sharon. How you doing? How are you? I was just saying, is everyone going to join us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock, don't forget, you have to be there for our live. I'm very excited. Very excited, as you can tell by the hands. Gotta get my fan back out again. I'm not even wearing my jumper. This is terrible. Look at, and it's not warm. It's really cold out. But I'm having to do it. And fix the fringe and mess with the fringe. So this is obviously Hayley's request tonight. We will be sweaty twins tomorrow. We will. You got a I know you have, Tiffany, and I know I'm putting you out, but I'd really appreciate it. I really would. And Warwick, look, nails are done again. Are you impressed? They're all done again. All courtesy of Jessica herself. Because I don't get them specially done. Too much information. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry. Oh dear. Did anyone do anything fun at the weekend? Anything exciting out there? I was just what's the word I'm looking for? Polishing up. Not polishing up. It's not polishing up, is it? It's just getting better at my pool game, basically. I couldn't think of the word. But yeah, I'm getting better. Can actually hit the balls now. So I'm very impressed with myself. But it's good fun. Even though it's getting very cold. I don't think it'll be happening for too much longer. It's very cold out there. But hey ho. There we go. Watch the burning bed and smell. Did you? Leighton's gone to bed. Stroking the queue. Yes, I was stroking the queue. Leighton has gone to lunch. Oh, has he? Oh, I love Lanzarote. We're going again in June next year, so very excited. Oh, he's going to have a fabulous time. What's the weather like at this time of year, Hayley? What's the weather like there? Because it was beyond. I can't even show it. I only very minimal people have seen what happened to my face after being. Is it 26 degrees? Does he really, Sharon? We love Lanzarote. Me and my parents and the kids, we love Lanzarote. We've only been there once, but I think it's going to be, I'm a creature of habit, so I think that'll be it now for the rest of my life. Hi Natalie, how you doing? You okay? Just chatting about our holidays. And Hayley's son's gone to sunny Lanzarote, so he's got a wee hat. Who's got? He's got a Lanzarote hat. Has he really? I can't remember. I didn't go that far. I think I got a lighter. I think my mum got some fridge magnets, but I don't think we went as far as the hat. Maybe next time. He'll have to show us. He'll have to show us his hat. But yes, fabulous times, fabulous times. Oh, I'm so jealous of your son, Hayley. I'm so jealous. I'd love to be in Lanzarote now. We're only talking about it early because, yes, we're going in June next year. So excited. I'm excited already. And we were saying, and I don't know how you lot feel, but doesn't June that's just gone seem so long away? Long ago? Is that just us? I was talking about it with Mum earlier and it just seems, does Jerome get grotty in Lanzarote? Where do you come up with these sayings, Warwick? But June just seems so long ago. It really does. They are, but it just seems like next June seems like it's going to be nearer than June gone. It's crazy. Hayley's going to Wales on Friday, but with the, hang on, keeps disappearing. Hold on. Hayley's going to Wales on Friday. Hayley, haven't you been on about 15 holidays this year? You're a very lucky soul. Are you okay there, Phil? How are you? Did you have a good weekend, Phil? Did you get up to anything exciting? Tell us now. We want to know. You do? It's about 15 holidays, Hayley. I'm pretty sure we're hitting 25 now. It's just crazy. It's not on. I'm just jealous. That's all it is. It's just jealousy you're hearing. Yeah, that's all it is. I wish I went on 50,000 holidays. Big lovely. The numbers have just got more and more and more. First one, they don't know it's not. No, it's not. I've counted about 32,000. Don't ask what it gets in my glove. Forgive my spelling. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'd be scared to think what someone gets in Magaluf. Something they bring home with them as well. Hiya, Kelly. How you doing? How are you? I worked on Saturday and chilled out on Sunday. Having to work at the weekend, Phil. I suppose at least you got Sunday, but oh no, I like my Saturdays too much. I couldn't do it. How have you been, Kelly? Have you been okay? Kelly, I keep meaning to ask you, okay? So before I start the story, I noticed, I think it was 2 stories ago, that everyone was asking you how you were and they were hoping you were feeling better. What did I miss? And I'm so sorry that I did. Are you okay? Because I only saw it afterwards and I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? But I'd missed it and I get so annoyed when I miss things. I missed a few. What did I miss from last week? Last Thursday's live as well. It was something Warwick had said. And I'd missed it. Oh, Warwick, you said something on the live. Like, oh God, I should write this stuff down. But I remember thinking, why do I keep missing this stuff? But I did, so I apologise. But yes, I hope you're okay, Kelly. I hope you're all right there and feeling better. She's very self-involved. I am very self-involved. I don't mean to be. And I feel very guilty afterwards. But at the time, you know, it's just what it is. Just about this. That's what it is. I'm joking. But I remember after, it's It's not even self-involvement. It's just being unaware of everything. We're probably playing up, but my memory's... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that though, Kelly. And I'm sorry that I didn't notice at the time. That's terrible. But I'm glad you're feeling better, lovely. I don't mind Saturday work. I'm going to work on a Saturday. I get the Wednesday before it off. Okay, right. Would you not prefer to work on the Wednesday, Phil, and have the Saturday? Mind you, you've just said you don't mind having the Saturday, so... I mean working the Saturday, but... No, no, I wouldn't fancy that. I wouldn't fancy that. But, hey-ho, what do you do? Can I ask what you do? I'm being really nosy again. I'm sorry. You don't have to tell us. But I'm just curious. Just the nosiness. See, I'm either very self-involved and don't notice anyone else, or I overstep boundaries. I can't decide. The phrase you were looking for was stiff as an nosy beach. Pretty much. There you go. You're getting it back, Tiffany. What was that? We should all guess. Should we have a wild guess, Phil, at what you do? Should we have a wild guess? Working on a Saturday, it's got to be retail of some sort, no? And I was like, wait a... Kelly, that's... Oh, you're going back to Turkey. Oosh. 24th of October. Oh my God. Does that help? Does the heat help? Because it helps me with my back and stuff. So does it help? But I'm very... I told you, I love Turkey. I love Turkey. I'm a big fan. So I'm very jealous. Look at these. Lanzarote, Turkey... supposed to be winter. You're supposed to be stuck here with us. I work for Nationwide, but... Okay. He's a gigolo. You know how gigolo are you, Phil? Okay, Phil, that's very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? High level. So that good, Kelly. Yes, she's going back for seconds, worry. Yeah, he looks like he's got quite a flashy job as Phil. Bit jealous, but not the Saturday. Yes, he's a high flyer. He's a high flyer. I don't know why I thought retail. I don't know what I was thinking. What was I with you? For goodness sake. It was the Saturday. So the only people who work on a Saturday in Jessica's brain is retail. Going away with my daughter and the grandkids. Come back for a week. She's pregnant, so not full into her mind. She's quite far along as well, isn't she, Kelly? With that heat. Oh, good luck to you. Good luck to you. It's a nice breeze, though. That might help. I was vicious carrying in the summer. I must say I was, I was not a nice person to be around. All behind the keyboard, but still dealing with customers. Oh, fabulous, Phil. Do you enjoy it? Have you been doing it long? Have you been, I can't believe I haven't asked. I'm terrible. Look, baby Tiff, look, Tiff says too self-involved. Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking, Tiff. Right, it's 20 weeks and she's moaning cat the best of some. Oh, dear, in that heat. Oh, no, I am not envying you, Kelly, at all. Like Warwick says, just find yourself a nice waiter and just get waited on hand and foot. Just do that. Just do that. It sounds nice. What was I looking at then? 7 years. Oh, that's a long time, Phil. That's a long time. Oh, I can't believe I didn't ask. I'm not nosy enough, I don't think, sometimes. The good kind way here, right? All inclusive. Nice. You gotta go in all inclusive. You have to. I've done it twice now and I'll never look back. I can't look at doing anything else now. I can't. It has to be that at all times. And where we went, it was like real Bacardi, real Coke. So that was it. me and my mum were in our element for the entire week. It was amazing. It was great. Right, okay, I've just noticed the time, so I'm going to leave you all to it, and I'm going to start this story now. As I've said, it's Hayley's request this evening. I'm not sure. Am I shouting? Am I? Sorry. I'll quieten down in a sec. Sorry, I didn't think it was. It's the mic. It's Mick. It's making me sound louder. Right, okay. So, I don't know if you know the story. Sorry. I don't know if you know the story. But it's been on every short TikTok, Facebook reel for probably the past couple of months now, giving a very sad backstory to this, to the short that had been put on. It's very, 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 very sad. Awful. I just, the more and more I learn about it, I was just like, oh my God, this is heartbreaking. But yeah, so she's on, right, okay. I've started now, so I've got to be all polite. I'll get you at the end. Right. Okay, so if you are watching tomorrow, I'm going to start now. Okay, so the devastating Judith Barsi story. Okay, so we have Judith Barsi is Judith's dad, and we have Maria Virovax is her mum. Okay, so Judith Eva Barsi was born on the 6th of June 1978. Okay, it also kind of stung a little bit because it was like same month I was born, same year, obviously same year, same month, everything that I was born. It's when I hear that, it always adds a different element to a story sometimes. Same with Kellyanne Bates. It's that sort of now this little girl, and it's not like where you would have to, with a lot of the stories that I do, and I say these children are adorable and you can go away and look. I mean, this girl, when I explained to you her story, she was everywhere at the time. So let me explain. Like I say, very cute, just gorgeous little girl, clever, very polite, charming little girl. Now, Maria wanted Judith to become a star. She just did. She just had this idea of what she wanted for her child, and she just knew she was meant for better things. Okay, so she kind of trained Judith to, I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't get the impression when I was researching this that she was some sort of crazy stage mom. I didn't get that impression at all. I got that she absolutely doted on this little girl. That's the impression I got, so I'm going with that. But she would get her to talk a certain way and carry herself a certain way, even from like a very young age, 2-3 years of age. Now, with about Judith, she looked much younger than she was. So when she got to 5 years of age, right? So we're up to 1983 now. When she was 5, her mum had taken her to the San Fernando ice rink, okay? And what it was is they used to shoot a lot of commercials there. And so from what I've heard, even at that point, it might have been like, oh, she might be spotted, kind of thing. But she taught her to ice skate, and there she was, little 5-year-old who looked younger. She looked like a 3-year-old, whizzing around on the ice kind of thing. She caught the eye of the casting director, who was shooting the commercial and everything else. And straight away, he came over and he wanted to know about her. He was shocked to hear she was only 5. I mean, that she was 5. She looked much younger, like I say. And he was completely taken by her because, like I say, this little girl was just, she was just really charming. She was a really sweet, outgoing, not like a normal 5-year-old who'd hide behind her mum's legs and that sort of thing. She was quite outgoing and just a real pleasure to be around. That's everything I've heard about this little girl. So she was hired literally on the spot, and her first advert was for Donald Duck orange juice. And I've seen the advert, and she's very cute. She really is. And the thing with her looking younger but being older, I've had some people word it as in, oh, well, they could use her for longer, which I suppose, given everything coming out recently, which I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but, Hollywood, yeah, it's a questionable place, as we know, but like I say, I'm not going down that route. But it was said that because she was 5 but looked 3, she could have parts that were for a much younger child, but herself off screen was obviously more mature than a 3-year-old, so she could take direction. She wouldn't get easily distracted. So it was the best of both worlds, really, for these companies that had taken her on and everything else. Very quickly, she was signed by Harry Gold and Associates talent agency. She got her own agent called Ruth Hanson. It was snowballed. It was very, very quick, just from being spotted at this ice rink. She went on to star in 72 commercials, 72 of them. She was just, and this is what I was meaning to, saying at the beginning. With a lot of the stories I do, you would have to go and search to see sort of the children I'm talking about, when I say, go and have a look. They're, gorgeous kids. This little girl, take your pick, she was everywhere, and she went very quickly from commercials into TV shows, and she appeared on The Twilight Zone. She was in Growing Pains. She appeared in Cheers, all these shows, that she appeared on. From the TV shows and the commercials, then she was hired to do movies because she was so good at taking instructions. She was so good at understanding the part that she was being hired to play. She was very, very talented, really talented young little girl. She then went on to appear in Jaws, The Revenge, which was the 3rd one, which, I'm not going to lie, nothing to do with this little girl whatsoever, but wasn't a massive fan. I think it was the 3rd one, or was it the 4th one? It just wasn't the best one, let's just say, but had nothing to do with her, obviously. She then, her 2 best known roles she went on to star in was Ducky in The Land Before Time and Anne-Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven. Now, these were sort of animated films that she did voiceovers for. And Ducky in The Land Before Time was best known for saying, yep, yep, yep. And it was kind of I can't do it because it's a child doing I can't do it, I sound ridiculous. But that's what she was known for doing. And like I say, Anne-Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven. All right. Now, remember I said she's quite small. She's playing she's playing younger ages than she actually is. So it even got to when she turned 10. She was playing the parts where the characters like 6 or 7, 8. You know, she could play younger parts, but still with a maturity about her to be able to pull off the character and play that part well. So her salary began to go through the roof. Okay, so she was earning more than $100,000 a year. Okay, now don't forget this is the 80s, and I've done a quick sort of comparison, and now in 2024 that would be around $270,000 a year for a teeny little girl. It's crazy, but that's what she was on. So you would imagine, her mum and dad being over the moon, and her mum was. Don't forget, her mum had wanted this for her. She must have saw something in her when she was a baby, mate. A baby, maybe, there must have been something, and she was like, this child's going to be a star. And she was absolutely over the moon. They go on to buy a lovely 3-bed home in the West Hills in LA, in California. I've seen the house. It's nothing flashy at all. It's lovely home, but it was nothing over the top at all. It was just a lovely 3-bed home that the family were able to go on and buy, thanks to Judith and all. She was working very, very hard. We have heard about child stars. They would have to work very, very long hours for their ages, but again, this wasn't something that bothered Judith. She was happy to be on the set. She was just happy doing what she was doing. She really was. And you would think that the family, they had it all, thanks to this amazingly talented child that they've got, and they should be, enjoying that and supporting her and being happy. But how happy Judith always appeared on set. She never showed just how unhappy she was when she'd have to go home, and how scared and frightened this little girl was when she'd have to go home. Joseph, Daddy Dearest, well, is a really, really angry, spiteful, and jealous, very jealous man. Really jealous. And plus, just to add it all in there, he's an alcoholic. Just to up the ante a little bit, You might be like, well, who's he jealous of? You said he's jealous. Who's he jealous? He's jealous of his daughter. That's who he's jealous of. He's jealous of his teeny, talented little girl. See, Joseph around this point was unemployed, and he couldn't hold down a job at this point. He was just a very angry little man. And yeah, he was extremely jealous of his little girl, which is just crazy. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Joseph, okay? Joseph had previously been married, all right? And he had 2 children in this previous marriage. He had been living in Hungary. Well, this is where he'd been born and raised in Hungary. There was a fallout within the country in around 1956. And he met a woman also from Hungary, okay, called Carla. All right. They left Hungary, they got married, they had 2 kids, and they moved to America. and went on to have 2 children. But he was so abusive. He was so abusive to her. He really was, to the kids. He was just a vile man even then. You know, just, I haven't heard anything good about this man whatsoever. From family, from friends, from neighbours. I've heard nothing positive about this man whatsoever. Okay? So eventually Carla left with the kids and she moved to Arizona. Alright? Now, he followed them back at that point and he begged for another chance. And she gave him another chance for the sake, for the sake of the kids and everything else. But he couldn't control himself. He couldn't keep that part of him hidden or anything else. And he threw a cast iron pan at her head and hit her. He didn't just throw it, he hit her. And she was like, that's it, we're done. And she divorced him. She left up with the 2 kids and she divorced him. Okay, so now he's single, he's alone, he's a miserable git. So he spends a lot of his time just sitting on his own in a pub. He talks to people in there, but even when he's talking, he'd brag, that he's spent time in jail for killing a man in New York, and there's no proof that actually ever happened. In fact, the only proof there is that he was arrested, but for DUIs, driving under intoxication, 3 times. That's all there is. Like, I don't know why he thought that'd be something to brag about anyway, but this is what he would say. He'd try and make himself out to be this big guy, and he just wasn't a nice man. So even the men in the pub didn't really want a lot to do with him. Anyway, this is where he went on to meet Maria. She just happened to be there. They met. He obviously shows, a good side. Obviously shows a good side to himself initially. And yeah, they met, like I say, while at the bar. They married very soon after. Now, Maria herself, she came from Hungary too. Now, obviously, they didn't know each other in Hungary. There was no connection, but she was from there too, just like his ex-wife was. So there's obviously a connection there. They're in this country where you're going to gravitate to people who are from your home country, where you were born and raised. So that can happen, but she obviously didn't know what she was getting herself into at the time. Of course she didn't. So they were married soon after, and then came along Judith, obviously in 1978. But his angry bursts did begin to show more and more often. They did. He was drinking even more, angry all the time. And obviously then once Judith goes on and gets this success that himself isn't capable of getting for himself, this resentment starts to build in him. He's just jealous, and I think he's got a fear with his first wife leaving him that, with his 2 children, that Maria's going to leave him at some point. So the violence ramps up. He's very, very hands-on with Maria, let's say. He's just, like I say, just this guy, just everything I learned about him. I mean, I've dealt with some awful men and women on this channel with regards to the stories I've done. But they normally hide it behind, a fake facade of being nice or outgoing or charming. Not Joseph. No, he just didn't seem to have any redeeming qualities. Everything I've found out, it doesn't seem so. So we get to December of 1986 and Maria files a police report after he threatened to kill her. Now, these threats, they're a common occurrence. Him threatening to kill her is not just something he saves for Maria. He tells everybody. He tells his friends. He tells his neighbours. He's going to kill her. You know, it's not something he keeps quiet. And we are going back to the 80s, I suppose. You know, you can, you know, we all can be guilty of saying, oh, I'm going to kill her, or I'm going to kill him, and it's quite flippant. But this wasn't that. He was deadly serious when he was saying it. I mean, it seemed to me that it was bordering on a hatred of his wife and his daughter, and they were merely possessions of his. That's all they were. They weren't. There didn't appear to be a love there, just from what I can gather. Well, I don't know why I'm saying that. You're gonna see why I'm saying that in a second. He'd also choked. He'd hit her. But even though she filed this police report, she goes on and decides not to prosecute. Okay, I don't know why, whether it was fear, whether he had cut behind the scenes been like, I promise I'll change, I'll stop, you know, give me a chance. But she decides not to prosecute, okay? So then we get to a point where little Judith is going to film Jaws the Revenge that I was telling you about. And the filming of this was in the Bahamas. How exciting for a little girl. How exciting that you're going on what would you call it, on, oh God, you're basically going out of the country. I know the word I'm looking for with going on thingy to do a film, but anyway, I can't think of the word. But it was so exciting for her to be going to the Bahamas, and she's going to be with all these castmates, and she's very excited, and she's packing in her room. She's, you know, packing a little suitcase up about, you know, what she wants to bring with her and stuff. And not only that, she's, you know, she's also very happy to get away from her dad for a bit. You know, just to have a bit of peace, you know, just a bit of a break from him, all right? But just before she leaves, while she's packing, he puts a knife to her throat, puts a knife to his little girl's throat, and he says, if you decide not to come back, I'm going to cut your throat. That's what he says to his little girl. In the bedroom of the house that she's bought, and he's there with a knife to his, and when you see this little girl, and I keep emphasising she's so much smaller than even her age, you know, the age that she was, she's so much smaller, and you think of this this brute putting a knife to her throat. It's just, just a vile man. Now, remember Ruth Hanson, the agent I mentioned? Now, she knew something was wrong. She knew something was wrong with Judith. But she wouldn't say anything, Judith, on set, and when she was around adults, and when she was around her school friends. You know, she wouldn't say anything. She'd always appear quite happy and content. And I think what it was, she was just happy when she was away from him. And she could just be herself to a degree. But even though Judith wouldn't say anything, Maria would. Oh, Maria was very outspoken. And, you know, she would talk about a fear of Joseph all the time. All the time. She'd mention, you know, saying he wanted to kill her and he wanted to harm her, and he was, you know, always threatening her and hitting her, and, you know, she was quite outspoken about it. Judith's mum was, Maria. But as time went on, Judith did begin to confide in her friends at school, because she did go to school. She had her mum, it was said her mum did try to give her as normal a life as she possibly could have when she wasn't filming these films or adverts or TV programs. She'd try and give her like as normal a life as possible. So she went to a normal elementary school, which is like our junior and infants. And Judith had begun to confide in her friends, and she'd say that she was scared to go home because of her dad, and she'd say that her dad was drunk and he was miserable and he wanted to kill her mum. And this is what she's telling her friends at school, which is just so sad. And by this point, even the neighbours, now there's a neighbour called Eunice Daly, and even the neighbours were aware of what was going on. So it wasn't just the pub where Joseph had been losing his mind saying, I'm going to kill my family, I'm going to kill my wife. It wasn't just Maria who was, telling, telling anyone who'd listen, look, he's a really bad man. It was the neighbours were hearing it for themselves. They were hearing it. And what Joseph himself would say to Eunice, the neighbour, he'd say he'd actually say he's going to kill Maria. He'd say that. And when Eunice says to him, look, if you kill her, what will happen to your little one? He just kind of shrugged and he goes, well, I'll have to kill her too. Oh, God. Now, Eunice herself, I believe, offered for Maria and Judith to stay with her just to get out of that house, just to give them a bit of a safe place to go. Because when they'd moved into the house, Joseph had erected like this metal fence all the way round. The metal bar type fences all the way round, which wasn't something that was any of the other houses had got in the neighbourhood. He just, blocked them in. And this is what he was saying. So Eunice had said, look, if you need to come and stay with us. But Maria had said, no, it's fine, it's okay. And he'd even turned around to Eunice and said, well, you know what I might do as well? I might just kill myself and Judith, okay? And I'll just leave Maria to suffer. So he's really thinking, isn't he? He's really thinking about these various things he can do and these various scenarios. It's just a sicko. So Judith around this point had begun to suffer with trichotillomania. I think I've said that right, okay? And it's a condition where through severe stress and anxiety you might begin to pull out your eyebrows, eyelashes, hair, those sort of things, okay? This is a 10-year-old little girl. She's 10 years old. And it said that she would pull her cat's whiskers out. Not in an attempt to obviously hurt the animal. It wasn't to hurt her animal. It was because that was the thing that she was doing at the time to try and gain some control because of the stress she was under. And it was said that she took out every one of her own eyelashes. I mean, at 10 years old, it's just such a shame. It's such a shame. We get to May 1988. Sorry, she was 9 at that point. We get to May 1988. And Ruth had noticed that Judith was crying at an audition, something that was very, very unlike her. And she was saying, I can't take it. It's a 9-year-old girl who's pulling out her own eyelashes saying, I can't take it. which is crazy. So Ruth tells Maria, the agent, tells Maria, Judith's mum, to take her to a child psychologist. Okay. Now, the therapist concluded that Judith was suffering from extreme verbal, mental, and emotional abuse. Okay. And the therapist advised that this should be reported to DFCS, which is Children's Services in Los Angeles. Okay. So Ray Lamotte from DCFS created a plan of action where Maria and Judith would be removed from the home. Okay, that was this plan of action that was being set into place to protect Judith and Maria from this abuse. They were both suffering. They were being terrorised in their own home. It was horrific. I can't emphasize enough the circumstances that this little girl was living in and Maria was living in. You know, this was not a happy home in any way, from what I can gather. At any point, it seems like this was a constant strain on this little girl. It's just such a shame. But, however, Maria calls it off. She calls off this removal and this plan of action that had been put in place. Okay, now again, all I can assume is because it's the 80s, it's not where child services would just automatically take over. And I don't understand how they allowed her to make that decision, considering it wasn't solely for her benefit. There's a little girl. There's a little girl in play in this equation. Okay, but Maria calls it off and she says she's going to deal with it. Okay, that's what's said. Now at this point she'd rented an apartment for her and Judith in Panama City. Okay, they would stay there during the day and they'd come home at night. So it's just to keep Judith away from him, you know, or keep him away from Judith, however you want to think about it. But it was just so he couldn't have that effect on her during the day, but they would go back in the night. Okay, it was said that Maria didn't want to give Joseph the house that Judith had worked for. I mentioned it earlier and maybe I said it at an inappropriate time, but I think that was her mind frame. Look, this was her daughter's home that she paid for, that she'd worked really hard for, you know, and she just didn't want to give that up to him. She didn't want to do that. Plus, if they left, they would have to go into hiding because he'd be hunting them down. And they'd have to leave because they'd have to leave the studio and the income, and you know, this is the. I suppose she was just thinking. I don't know what she was thinking, if I'm honest. I don't know what she was thinking. Maybe she just didn't think it'd get any worse. But she planned to divorce Joseph and obviously hope that he'd just move out and go on about his way, and her and Judith would be able to just live there all happy and happy ever after. Okay? So, we get to July the 25th, 1988. Alright? Now, remember, I said that they would spend the days out of the house in this apartment that they were that Maria was renting. And they would come home in the evening. And when they came in, Joseph was doing what he was always doing. He was drinking. So, Maria put Judith to bed. And once she was sure that Judith had gone to sleep, Maria herself went to bed. Okay? And this was leaving Joseph just drinking in the living room, and he's drinking. And he's drinking. And he's getting more and more inebriated, but he's getting more and more angry. And bitter. And twisted. And once he was very, very drunk, Okay, and he was sure that Maria was asleep. Joseph walked down the hall and into Judith's room. His 10-year-old little angelic little girl, who was tiny, beautiful little thing, where he raised a gun and he shot, basically executed. He executed his little girl. He shot her in the head. And she died instantly. For nothing. For what? Of course, this woke Maria. Maria's come flowing out of the bedroom and tried to rush past Joseph to see, you know, what was going on with Judith, if she was okay. And as she gets past Joseph, he shoots her and he kills her outright. He then stays in the house for 2 days. And the only thing he does, he answers a phone call. And it's a phone call from Ruth, Judith's manager, agent. And she's phoning because Judith was supposed to be on site at Hanna-Barbera Productions that morning. And all he says is like, wow, a black car came to the house and took Judith and Maria a couple of hours ago. Heard they were going to San Diego. And so Ruth's like, right, okay, well, they haven't shown. They're not here. And he's like, I don't know what to tell you. And puts the phone down. And he just stays in that house for 2 days with his dead wife and his dead baby girl. Okay. And then on July the 27th, 1988, so 2 days later, a neighbour, Eunice Daly, do you remember I mentioned her? The neighbour who had offered her home as sort of a refuge to Maria and Judith when she'd heard everything that had been going on. She's out and she's sort of watering her plants in her front garden. She hears this almighty bang. And then she starts to see smoke coming out of the Barsi household. The Barsi house, sorry. Oh, and she panics. She runs into her house. She calls 911. But she said to herself as she was running into her house to call 911, he's done it. This is what she said was going through her mind. He's done it. He's killed them. And he set the house on fire like he said he would. She said this is what was going through her mind as she ran into that house. Can you imagine just how heartbreaking that would be for that woman as well. You know, so what Joseph had actually done, he'd doused Judith and Maria in gasoline. He'd walked around in the house for 2 days with them dead in that house, and then he gets gasoline, he douses his wife, his dead wife and his dead daughter in gasoline, and he sets them on fire. And then he goes into the garage and he turns the gun on himself. Absolute coward. Ugh. Oh my God. So when the police turn up and they go in, they can quickly, very quickly, once they put the fire out, they can quickly see that this wasn't a house fire that had got out of hand or anything else. They could see really quickly what had happened and pieced it together. And, like I said, that poor neighbour she knew that this is what he was going to do. And he did it. But rather than face the consequences of what he'd done, he'd been bragging to anyone who'd listen that he was going to do this. and rather than stick around for the conclusion, no. He made sure he got himself out of there, which is, oh, God. Now, a part that really, it really upset me, this one did, right? And I'll tell you why. Not just of course, the story itself, I'm not talking about that, but Judith and Maria were buried in Forest Lawn Memorial Park, okay? In an unmarked grave. There was no headstone. There was no headstone put on that child's grave until 2004. That was 16 years later. And do you know who put the headstone on there? Do you know who got that headstone erected for that child? Her fans. Once they'd grown up and realised that this little girl, who they'd known from films that they'd loved as a child, when they realised she didn't even have a headstone, they got that headstone erected for her. And I was just like, what about the agency? What about the stars she was in the films with? What about the production company? What about all these people she'd come into contact with over the 5 years she'd been working from 5 to 10? None of them could get her a gravestone. I just thought that was so sad. You know, she's been earning $100,000 a year. I've had a look because I wanted to know, but where's the money? Where was the money? Because she would have had money. And all it says when you look it up, it just says her money was inherited by family members. Who? Who were the family members? Who got that money? That they couldn't get her a grave, like a headstone. That part just, honestly, I was so annoyed when I got to that part. I was like, how much do they cost? Now I know if you've lost someone and you're living just a normal life and it's completely unexpected, I understand. Funerals are horrifically priced now. I get that. I understand that. Headstones themselves, you know, they can cost thousands. I'm not saying that and I'm not being flippant on that, but from a child who had thousands upon thousands upon thousands in the bank. Now, it said that Joseph himself was dipping into the money that she'd been earning. You know, they'd bought the house and everything. I get that. I get maybe there wasn't as much money maybe that you think, but and they couldn't get enough for a headstone. The studio couldn't donate it. Oh, I just thought, but the fans bought the headstone and written on there was our concrete angel and the word yep. Now remember I mentioned earlier with the films that she'd been in, and I'd said that was her tagline that she'd used. She played Ducky in The Land Before Time. That was the tagline. It was like a dinosaur. No, was it? I thought it was like a dinosaur, Ducky. Anyway, it was. It said yeah. You hear it. Very so cute, and that's what's written on the headstone. The headstone for Maria, her mum, has got written on it on the wind beneath your wings, which I thought, you know, I just thought it's just heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. The closing song in All Dogs Go to Heaven, the other film I mentioned, is called Love Survives, and they dedicated that to Judith. Now, All Dogs Go to Heaven, it's sad. She plays a little girl in it called Anne-Marie, and her dog in it is gonna die. Is gonna go, and she's saying goodbye to him, and he's like, goodbye doesn't mean anything. You can say goodbye, and she says goodbye, and you just hear this cutest little voice in the animation. You know it's her, and what it was is she'd recorded her lines just before her dad had killed her. So then Burt Reynolds, who was playing the dog in the film, he had to then go in and record his lines after her dad had murdered her. And it took him 63 takes to do it, and I've listened to it so many times while researching this, and it doesn't stop that pang no matter how many times you listen to it. It really doesn't. It's so sad, and you can hear his voice break, even though he'd retook he'd reread those lines over and over and over again, because he broke down each time, even on the one that made it to filming, made it to what's the words I'm looking for? Made it to the release. You can still hear his voice crack, and it's very sad. So if you do want to go, I mean, there's so many shorts, like I say, and reels and TikToks and everything about it. And if you even want to just put in Judith Barsi, All Dogs Go to Heaven, you will see the clip I'm talking about. Oh, and it's so sad. It's so sad, because when you know that she recorded that voiceover just before her dad killed her. I don't know, her dad. I haven't used these tonight, have I? Her dad. And then you hear his voice, and you can hear it cracking, and it's just very, very, very sad. But that was another thing. I was like, did he know she didn't have a headstone? Final cut. Thank you, Kelly. The final cut. My God, I had a brain block then. Yes, the final cut that was made, you can still hear his voice cracking. But yeah, I couldn't help thinking, did he not know she didn't have a headstone? I just made me look at everyone involved in this little girl's life, all the people involved, and I just thought, you couldn't even get her that. I just thought it was really sad. Really, really, really sad. Yeah, so anyway, thank you for joining me. That was the devastating Judith Barsi story. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. If you want to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. Tuesdays are my request evening. Thursdays are my stories that I want to bring to you. And if you'd like to join my live tomorrow, I am not my live, actually, I'll take that back. It's a live I've been invited on, and it's a channel called We Are Their Voice, and it's a lady by the name of Sharon Young, who's so kindly invited me on to have a little chat. If you'd like to join us on there, I'd really appreciate that too. So thank you so much, and I'm going to have a little chat with the guys in the live now. Thank you. Bloody hell, Warwick. My God, what was I doing? What did I do? I'm assuming I was holding my fingers or something. Oh, is that okay, Hayley? Was that okay? I hope that was all the information. It seemed to be. I went so many different places, and I think because it was such like an older story, I think everywhere I looked, it was just, I didn't see, I did hear that Joseph had an affair as well, but I didn't mention that because I'd only heard it from one source, and I wasn't 100% on it, so I didn't mention that. But yeah, I had heard he'd been spending some of Judith's money on another woman, his daughter, Judith's money on a woman behind Maria's back. So I'd heard. But like I said, I only heard it once, so I wasn't 100%, so I didn't want to include it in it in case it wasn't, in case that wasn't the case. So I think right. Ah, thanks, Warwick. Thank you. What was I doing? Is everyone okay in there anyway? Are we all okay? Was that okay? Oh my God, my legs are so stiff. Sorry, guys. Completely off camera there. Are we all okay? I don't know what I was seeing in there. I was seeing some comments. Was Warwick giving sticky now? Just having a nose. I'm rocking the camera though. Have we all been playing nicely? I suppose, save me traipsing through the comments. Have we all been playing nicely in there? Oh, Jessica, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Hi. How are you? I think I did. I think I saw Claire was here as well. Or was she? I think I seen her. I think so. But I wasn't sure. My goodness. And I had to just hold the fan down there because I know you can hear it. But I was bloody started pouring halfway through. My goodness. But have we all been playing nicely? I'm just checking. Oh, good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's okay. That's all right, Claire. That's fine. I'm always 2 minutes late. I don't intend to be, but it seems to be. I should say I'll be here at 8:02. Just fancy spell. Are you stirring, Warwick? Good, came in like was about to make it. Good, came in like but was about to make it. That's okay. Do you know what? I should say I'll be here at like, if I say 5 past, I'd probably be early then. I for some reason 2 minutes seems to be the time, no matter how soon I'm sat here. It's terrible. But yes, what was I going to say? So are you all going to join us tomorrow? I hope yous are. I hope to see yous all. I'll hunt yous all down on Thursday if I don't find yous. If I don't notice yous there. You have to. I'm not. There's no story as such. It's just me and Sharon nattering really. But it'd be good if yous could join us for that. But was able to make it. Oh, excellent, Jessica. Thank you. You're all very welcome. Yes, yous all have to join. And subscribe and all that good stuff. Oh, why couldn't she find your channel? Sharon, tell her how to find your channel. It should just come up, We Are Their Voice. It should just be on there. Because my mum found it today and subscribed. So it should just, it just come up on mine, but I was already subscribed. So it already changed name, but my mum found it today. So I'm not too sure what that's about. But you have to find it before tomorrow, Claire, because you have to be there. Warwick and Phil, I haven't heard from you. Are you two joining? You two coming? Because none of my moderators will be there, Hayley and Tiffany, because I know yous personally, so I'll hunt you down. Oh, that's nice, Sharon. Thank you. Yeah. So you two can't get away with not being in it. So I have to get to her channel, girl. Yeah, you should be able to find it. We Are Their Voice, so you have to drop a link. Yeah, she's going to do it for you now. She's going to do it for you now, Claire. Yeah, are you two joining? Because like I say, I know Hayley is. And Tiffany. because they can't hide from me because I'll hunt them. And Kelly and everyone. Look, I'm coming after you individually now. You'll have to shave your legs earlier on in the day. How's your niece doing in Tanzania, Sharon? Tanzania? But do I ask it? Do you know, again, there's that self-involved thing. I didn't know you had anyone in Tanzania. Is that a place? Where's that? Where's Tanzania? I've heard of, in the bathroom. I've heard of Tasmania. Are you spelling it wrong? Because I've heard of Tasmania, but I haven't heard of that one. Trimming my bush. Can you not trim your bush in the afternoon too? Why is all choosing tomorrow to do your maintenance? Do it on a Friday. Do it on a Sunday or something. Only the muds can put links in here, but after that I'll be able to add it to the comments after the live. Oh, thanks, Sharon. Oh, I see what you mean. I'll be in the garden with shares. Christ, Jess. Are you Christ Jessing me? Why are you Christing me? Is it because I don't know where that is? Is it because is it a place? And it's not Tasmania? I don't know. Oh, my lights have gone off and everything. I've got a new setup, right, which I told you. Oh, yeah, I think I told you the other two, was it last week I got it? And what it is my other ring light you plug in. Like, you ask Sharon. Okay, I'll ask her. Yeah, you plug in on the USB, right? This one, you just charge it. But for some reason, it doesn't seem to be able to make it through a whole live. It's obviously just the hour, which is ridiculous. Doesn't it know I talk for far longer than that? There to help the race course. So, is it Tasmania, Sharon? Or have I got the wrong place? Is it by Romania? Oh my God. I'm just horrific, aren't I? I really am. Warwick's already said Jesus, Jess, on it. Tanzania? Yeah, where is that? Where's that? Because I thought Warwick had got it wrong and he was meaning to say Tasmania, because that's the only place I know that sounds like that. Oh, God. Oh, is it just horrific, and I told you it's out of Birmingham. I don't know it. I don't know. Or Skegness. I know Skegness. I know bits. I do surprise myself sometimes. Is it in Africa? Okay. I kept getting it wrong, so I think it's... Oh, Tanzania. That's what I said. It doesn't sound like... Tanzin. Let's go the second time I said it. Africa. Oh, I thought it was Romania. I thought it was Tasmania. Isn't Tasmania by Romania? No? That's by Romania. It's the what was that? I'm trying to do the like a vampire. I'm trying to do a vampire. Tanzania. Okay, Tanzania. Got it. It's Tanzania. Tasmania is in Australia. Tasmania? Is it? What's the one with the vampires then? Tanzania. Remember, thanks. Tasmania is Australia. So what's the one with the vampires for Romania then? Transylvania. Yes, we got there. For God's sake. Sorry, guys. So sorry. I'm so sorry. I weren't even thinking of Tasmania then. I was thinking of Transylvania when I was thinking of Tanzania. Oh my God. That's terrible, isn't it? That's terrible. I'll tell you what, it's a good job I haven't got people around the world watching me, because they wouldn't be happy with me. That's Transylvania. That's it. I know, I'm going. It's just, I should just stop, shouldn't I? I should just stop. It's just terrible. Right, I'm going to let you go, because me and Sharon... No, you can't. You can't wash your hair. Well, you can. I'll tell you when you can do it. You can do it when they're shaving their legs in the bush in the afternoon. That's when that can happen. And we'll all meet back at 8 o'clock. But I'm going to go now, because me and Sharon have got to have a little 1 2 1 2 sound check, which I'm very excited about as well. It's all very... I don't know what this is. I don't know what it's nerves, I think. But your kids never ask for help with the homework. Not with geography, no. Not with geography, I'm afraid. No, they don't. They do with maths. I'm not bad on maths, and I'm not bad on English, believe it or not. But no, geography, no. It's or history. I'm getting better on my history. I'm getting better on my history as I'm getting older. I'll probably get to like GCSE level by the time I hit 60. But anyway, I'm trying. So there we go. But geography is never going to be my strong point ever. And I've got to own it. I have to own that fact. So, but we got there. I know Tanzania's in Africa. I know that now. You want to do? Yes, I'll go and grab them in a second. It's okay. We have the internet now. We do. That's what I mean. We don't have to worry. And they're allowed to use it as well. They're allowed to use like Google and calculators and all sorts. It's not on. It's absolutely not on. Right, okay. So it's jingle time. So very quickly, can I say thank you to Tiffany and Hayley, my moderator extraordinaires, and Kelly and Warwick and Claire, Phil, Sharon and Jessica, Natalie, I've seen. Oh God, I don't think I've forgotten anyone. I think that's everyone. And my mum. I've seen my mum. So, yes, if you want to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/deshrose5472. Or you can comment and subscribe, guys. Comment and subscribe. Do it now. Comment and subscribe, guys, please. Comment and subscribe, please. And yes, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Join us tomorrow for more Nasserins, because oh God, Sharon, your subscribers are gonna hate me, aren't they? They are. I can feel it. They're gonna hate me. But we'll see you tomorrow. So night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Comment and subscribe, guys. Comment and subscribe. See you tomorrow.